Hello and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. In the last episode, our main character Miles Edgeworth came back from a trip overseas to find that a murder has occurred in his office. Today we'll start the investigation and see what we can learn. I've finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir.
Mr. Edgeworth, sir, are you okay, sir?
Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene.
When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away.
This is Dick Gumshoe. He is a detective with a local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being.
You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt?
No, I'm perfectly fine. However...
Look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed.
I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. What happened to no one gets away with murder? Good priorities there, Edgeworth.
Whoa, sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing.
This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it.
Oh, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating.
Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did a murder occur in my office? So that little box that pops up here is the first piece of logic, which we'll get a little tutorial for that really soon. This one reads, crime scene, my office. Is it really coincidence that the murder took place in my office? I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you?
No, not really, especially because of this.
The key to your office?
Another piece of logic here, the office key. For security reasons, this office's door has a lock built into it. Nothing too special there.
What do you mean, sir?
If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you.
Logic?
By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic.
So how do you use it?
First, I recall information through the logic button, then connect them together. Now, to touch the logic button and recall the facts. So we'll go ahead and do that, the bottom screen. Okay, so we only have two pieces of logic here. It's very easy. It is tutorial time after all. So we have the fact that the murder took place in Edgeworth's office can be connected with the office key. So we'll select those and connect them. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir.
There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? New logic here. Why did this happen in my office? What was the killer after?
You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir.
Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. That's our little HP warning, so we know that if we mess up with piecing logic together, we will get a little hit to our health. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir.
I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply touch the examine button.
Oh, if you ever feel lost and just want to talk, just touch the partner button, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir.
Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. Oh, let's just humor Gumshoe. We'll talk to him.
You called, sir?
Notice anything? Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe?
Just that I rushed over here as soon as I heard there was a murder in your office, sir. The investigation's just gotten started, so I guess there's not much else to say. So, were you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth?
Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair.
Ouch, that's rough.
Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective.
Sorry, sir.
About investigating. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe?
Of course, sir. Examine things by tapping them or by touching the examine button. By checking various things out, we gather evidence and information. You can see the evidence we've collected by touching the organizer button. For information and leads, it's the logic button. That's it! Great job, sir! Deductive reasonable is the way to go.
It's called deductive reasoning, Detective. Clearly, something you lack. Oh, that's not very nice. At least you didn't say it out loud. Okay, that's all we can say to him. Let's look at the organizer, which is the equivalent of the court record in the earlier Ace Attorney games. Right now we only have the badge. Proof of my profession, however I prefer to keep it in my pocket. Okay. That's all we have, but because we have it, we can present it to Gumshoe. Let's see what he says.
Your prosecutor's badge is really tiny
What? Really? That's what you're gonna say, Gumshoe? Okay, let's see if we can do this.
Your prosecutor's badge is really tiny compared to my police badge. Oh, but it's really cool, sir. Much, much cooler than my badge could ever be.
I'm 12 years old. There's no need to suck up to... Sorry. There's no need to suck up to me, Detective. Oh, Gumshoe is sad. What? I can't believe I missed out on that the first time I played. I definitely did not do that the first time I played this. Okay. We're gonna explore everything, because there are hidden gems like badge sizes in this game, apparently. Let's look at the closest thing, which is this chessboard.
Ouch, I even knocked over your chess set. I had it all set up, ready for him when you got back. I figured we could play a few games.
I had no idea you were interested in chess.
I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try.
In that case, I suppose I can set aside some time after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. That's not very nice either. Edgeworth is just full of burns, but he's not saying them out loud, so that's okay. There is a gun here that we should definitely look at. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here.
I think I've seen one of these before.
Like a gun? Yes, you have seen them. Care to enlighten me as to where?
Oh, I know! I was issued the exact same model, I think.
He could just take his gun out, right? And compare them? No?
Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous.
That's like a very Gumshoe thing to say. I kind of like that, actually.
But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it.
So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. And that's our new piece of logic about the possible murder weapon. It's the same model as those used by precinct detectives. Okay, that's all we've got about that so far. We can talk to this officer here.
Do you have anything to report?
Sir, yes sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And yet, there's something out of the... What? No, that's not what you just said. And yet, there's something out of the ordinary right in front of my eyes.
Talk about a contradiction.
Something out of the ordinary, huh? I should look around a bit more. Oh, I guess he's the guy who he might like say something different once I finish looking at everything. So clearly we haven't looked at everything, so let's keep going. Can examine this sofa.
I hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa. That thing looks...
Ooh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too? Just for a little while, sir?
Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest.
You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end.
Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take any time off. Aw, let him sit on your couch, come on. And also, if you've played like any of the previous games, you should know that Edgeworth is the person who keeps docking Gumshoe's pay. Maybe Von Karma like once or twice, but Edgeworth is the reason why Gumshoe lives on instant noodles. Like, let's all remember that when he says these things. Poor Gumshoe. I'm gonna be saying a lot during this game. This poor Gumshoe. Okay, ooh. Here's another officer.
How is it coming along?
Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Except in the first game we learned that fingerprint lifting is blowing into your 3DS really hard, so not so delicate actually.
Well, I never.
Okay, not much else there. I can't really get closer. This is the couch and this is the guy, so I can't look at the frame yet. So let's go back here. Oh yes, I wanted to look at... Oh, just walk through Gumshoe a couple times there. I wanted to look at this vase because... Wait, let's first examine it. Is this yet another batch of fresh flowers?
The ones that come with a card attached every month like clockwork for you? Yup. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. Wendy.
Oh, Miss Irony, how painful are thy thorns.
Wendy? Isn't that the name of that old lady with the whiny voice that stalked?
That's enough, detective. You need not remind me further. Wendy Oldbag. Oh, I miss her. I don't really miss her, but she is a great character. She's very funny. The thing that someone else pointed out to me before is that this flower vase here is wearing a cravat. I couldn't tell at first, but if you look at it, it's like you can see that the actual like container is the color of Edgeworth's coat, and it's wearing like a frilly 2-layered cravat in front of it. Just the cutest thing in the world. I feel like Miss Oldbag probably made that for him or something. Next we have the Steel Samurai!
Well, it's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll was spared any harm. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again?
Well, I don't know much about it myself, but
the hero of the Steel Samurai, warrior of Neo Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai, and his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and Indigo Samurai, along with the Delusion merchandise and even a new stage show gives it presence. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least that much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation.
He's totally a fan. That's okay. Oh, this is the trophy from the first game.
Oh, it's your trophy. The Knight of Prosecutors, right?
King of Prosecutors. And it's not a trophy, it's a shield.
They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right?
Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself. That's a nice, life lesson.
That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometime.
Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Again, it's so harsh. So very harsh. One thing that I haven't looked into just yet, but I read a couple of, not really complaints, but people sort of upset about the fact that the 5th case from the first game, which is the case with Lana Skye, is basically just ignored, out of canon, except for the fact that Emma Skye does exist and she's in future games. But here's the trophy from that game, so clearly it's part of the timeline, but I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I'll look more into it and speak to that a little more in a future episode. But for now, let's look at this mess back here. There.
Ah, watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir.
Ugh, that killer is going to pay. This tea set.
Yikes, you're really mad over this.
This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck.
What? Now I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks.
That's sad. I think we're looking at this pile of books here.
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and this killer. Oh, new logic. Signs of a struggle.
Oh, and I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless.
Oh, did he just stamp his foot? He's kind of frothing at the mouth. If you look at his sprite, it's white, kind of dripping a little bit. I don't recall ever asking him to clean my room. You said you asked him to clean your room in the beginning of the game, sir.
Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir.
Aren't the flowers from Old Bag? So, is Edgeworth secretly appreciating Old Bag's flowers? Because I would like that. I would like that very much for some reason. I don't know why. That just makes me happy.
I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled.
Does he have a life? Oh, so mean. Is there anything that... Oh. This, lamp? Is that what I'm looking at?
It's been a while since I've sat at his desk. Oh, how I've missed you. It's so tidy that it looks newer than when I first bought it. Oh, yeah. That thing's so polished that it makes mirrors jealous. Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, Detective. My job is to protect your office, sir. And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. That's harsh, sir. I have to admit the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can't dock his pay. Again, priorities, Edgeworth. They're a little off today. Okay, I was saving the victim for last, so here we are. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. That phrase comes up so much in this game, and I already messed it up. I'll have a billion more chances though, so I think it's okay. Alright. I think the most... Oh, well, okay. Let's just look at him in general, I guess. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir.
In other words, he was shot.
Yup. And until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that.
Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Crime scene notes jotted down in my organizer. Oh, so that's our first new piece of evidence.
Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir?
Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all.
Alright, if you say so.
I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to touch the organizer button. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Let's finish examining this scene and then we'll look at the organizer. Here's another pile of files.
Your files are all over the floor, sir.
They probably fell during the— oh, is this the same dialogue? They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, and they tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away.
I mean, oh yeah, sorry, this is the same. Okay. Yes. Alright, sorry about that. Unfortunately, in this game, you can't, you know, most like visual novels and also in the earlier games, you can press A or X or whatever twice and it'll like finish the text box really quickly, and then if you hit it again, it'll go on to the next text box, but here you have to wait for all the text to sort of play out. So I'll try not to repeat dialogue too often because that will take a really long time. So I'll do my best. Okay. We looked at the files, we looked at the victim, so we just have this wallet left.
What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before.
Again. A gun and now a wallet. Yes, you've seen these things before, Gumshoe.
It's a police badge. Oh, okay, it's a badge. It's a police badge, detective. Oh, hey, I have the exact same thing, actually. What a quinky dink.
Let's take a look inside. Oh, Gumshoe. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. New logic? Okay. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Okay, so like I said, we'll look at the organizer quickly. Oh, there's just one thing. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. We hit check, I think it's just the same image. And then there are also the profiles. Here we have the victim, Buddy Faith, age 29, gender male. The detective in this precinct and the victim. Why was he killed in my office? There's also Dick Gumshoe, age 32, male. Homicide detective at the local precinct, in charge of the initial investigation. Oh, and that's it. Okay, that's everybody so far. And so next we were gonna do, oh, like Edgeworth said, we should look at our logic. So we have the killer's goal, signs of a struggle, victim was a detective, and revolver. If I remember correctly, it was either, oh shoot, it was either the killer's goal and victim was a detective, because it's possible the killer was specifically after him because he is a detective, or he was one. Or it's victim was a detective and revolver because it's the same gun that detectives use. I think this is the more obvious one, so we're gonna pick this and see what happens. Oh, yep, there we go.
The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed?
Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time?
Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster.
So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Victim's revolver, okay. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver.
As I always say, you've got to look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use the scroll wheels to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use the slide bar or the X and Y arrows to zoom in and out to get at the nitty-gritty.
Okay, right off the bat we have an examine option, so let's see what that is.
Do you think that it's so easy to take a life with just the pull of a trigger? You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. Cute. If you take off before it's fired, everyone always ends up following your lead.
That's not how it works.
To chase you down for a false start, Detective. Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place.
Oh, poor Gumshoe. Okay. So we can... Okay, let's see. We can rotate this wheel. It's the same... Zoom out and zoom in. It's the same feature that I introduced in that same Lana Sky case that I brought up earlier. It's kind of neat. I like having 3D things. Lost my train of thought. Okay, let's see what else there is. Nothing on the handle. We'll go... Oh, here we go.
It looks like only one round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is about all we're going to find out. We should send the body to
Jim! Why? Oh, why? How could this have happened to a guy like you?
Are you alright?
Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Just leave me be.
Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body.
The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night.
Sure. Just in a blood-stained suit, pal.
Ugh. The killer is here. I really don't like this guy. Like, I mean, not like I ever like the murderers, but I really don't like this guy. Okay. Where are my manners?
Aren't you that prosecutor?
Why, yes, I am. I'm Jacques Portsman. He has a terrible name, too. Really? I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here was my partner in crime busting.
I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I'm also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir.
So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office?
Yes, that is correct.
Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim!
Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay?
I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutors' office doors all have locks built into them. Only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner.
Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Ho. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means.
So it was you then. You're Jim's killer.
No way, pal. You've got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions?
Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. Edgeworth is not having him. He is not impressed. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know? Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? I would not want to shake hands with this guy. No. I refuse.
A pleasure to work with you.
You guys are conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room, after all.
Thank you, I intend to.
I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there. Sir! I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner Jim. That is so... No, that's terrible. Why would you have someone take pictures of you and your deceased partner? That's... ugh. Oh my god, he's like posing. Yeah, I really don't like this guy. I should probably give them some space. Okay. Let's see if this guy has anything new to say.
Do you have anything to report?
Sir, yes sir. Nothing out of the ordinary right now, sir. And oh, okay. Nope. Same thing. Maybe Gumshoe? I don't want to look at stuff again if it's going to be the same.
You called, sir?
Oh, here's something new. The info I've gathered.
I seem to have picked up a few good leads. Oh, so now you're gonna do that thing you do with all that information, right?
What are you babbling about?
The brainy thing you were talking about just a few minutes ago, sir. Logic. You said that you can look at all of your leads and info by touching the logic button. Then you pick the pieces you want to connect by touching them and hitting connect. That's your way of investigating, right, sir?
Yes, which is why this exercise in explaining my own method to me was unnecessary.
Okay, then how about I explain my logic to you next?
That is even more unnecessary. Aw. That was like low-key savage. Low-key. Oh, the guy is not back here anymore, so we can look at his coat in a frame.
Ah, your jacket, sir! What's it doing on the floor?
It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round.
So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well?
They dared shoot the ultra-special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in?
What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster!
It's not worth getting worked up over, Detective. Not when there's something more here.
Huh? Like what?
I take it you haven't noticed yet, Detective. There's a giant contradiction right here in front of us.
Really?
Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. Oh, he's thinking of Phoenix. But I have my own methods. I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. Well, I think it's this literal spot here. I didn't even have to hit examine. This is it. The bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should touch the deduce button with conviction. Okay, touching it with conviction. Boom. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. So this is a little bit of a spin on the typical investigation that wasn't in the earlier games. I kind of like it because we don't have a courtroom to present evidence in anymore, so now we're presenting evidence during an investigation. It's kind of neat. In this case, we don't really have that many choices. It's not the badge. Let's see. This we saw was the fact that the man was shot in his stomach and the body was found at 2 a.m. And okay, yeah, it's this. Issued to the victim and believed to be the murder weapon. Only one shot fired. But that is not correct. Eureka!
This bullet hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir?
It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felled the victim, and the second felled this frame.
Hey, that's right.
However, this gun was only fired once,
Hey, that's true too.
which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Okay, that's some logic we'll be looking at later.
By the way, I noticed something, sir.
Yes?
What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame?
Ah, that. It's a secret safe.
A secret safe? Oh, I smell money.
I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way.
Roger that.
Talk about dusty. I'm not gonna fake sneezing, you guys will not like that. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while.
I had no idea there was a safe here. I'd have kept it clean for you, sir. So when did you put this thing in?
It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one.
Really? I had no idea.
Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence.
So what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth?
Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session.
That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams.
Secret safe data, okay. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Yay, I said it right! Oh, again, we've got an examine here right off the bat. Now this is odd.
You found something, sir?
This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean?
Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself.
You there, the forensic scientist.
Yes, sir.
Could you please dust this area for fingerprints?
You got it, sir.
I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. Okay, some new logic here too. And... oh, the safe data was updated. Okay. As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. So... we had the killer's goal and signs of a struggle from earlier on, and then our newer ones are the second handgun and the wiped fingerprints. Let's see. I think the second gun is a pretty new piece of information. I don't think it relates to anything. Okay. Signs of a struggle. That wouldn't be the killer's goal, though. I mean, his goal wasn't to struggle with someone. All the fingerprints on this have been wiped. Oh, right, okay. The killer's goal and the fingerprints, because he was trying to get into the safe, I think. I believe I have figured out what the murderer was after.
Well, what is it, sir?
Oh, okay, yes, that's what it was. The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. Theft question mark. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Okay, well... right? These two? Signs of a struggle and theft? I guess. Like, normally I wouldn't necessarily put these two together, but we got thrown back into the logic screen and this is still a tutorial, so I think it is this. Because I don't see how the second handgun plays into this yet. Alright. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer.
Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir?
Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library.
Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. Well, except Edgeworth has seen the dead come back to life several times with Maya and Mia, but maybe he's not really thinking about that right now. All we can do is search for the truth. And, so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it! Here, let me help.
So this file goes here, and that book goes there.
You sure know a lot about where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office.
Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal, okay? Done.
It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here.
The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh.
I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the prints on the shelf.
And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? Blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out.
Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now.
You know I'm no good with blood, sir.
I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Okay, again, we're gonna go with the ultra conspicuous hole. And look at that.
So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh?
For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in the file spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred.
Then I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way.
Okay, we'll look at the other stuff just to see what it is.
The victim's handprints.
He must have tried to support himself with his hands here after being shot.
There are prints on the floor, too.
Those must have been made when, unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. We also have this large blood stain. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot.
Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it.
That would be the logical conclusion. Can you also look at him? The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf.
The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well.
They're really emphasizing that, huh? In a sense, I suppose.
See? I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know what the deal is here, and it's... am I on the... Okay, close enough, I think. This goes with... Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? This goes with this info because it says that he was shot through the stomach, and that is not where his stomach would have been. There's clearly a contradiction here with this bullet hole.
Well, what do you mean, sir?
You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up.
But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir?
That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot.
Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir?
It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. and it was from this mistake that a current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? Okay. It's not the handprints, because that's like pretty obviously evidence that he was standing up, and we know that there's nothing wrong with that. I think I remember, but okay, the position of the body. That's not really faulty either, because we know that he was standing. It's pretty clear that he was standing and then he dropped down to the floor. So it would be the order of the files, I think. I believe the order, oh yeah, okay. I believe the order of the files is a bit off. It's been a while since I've played this game, sorry. I meant to make it like I knew what I was doing, but sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir.
Oh?
Yeah, you see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird.
Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye.
But the numbers are all out of order.
Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. From this, we know that the files were not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha, so that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out.
Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to how it was before it was moved?
They've finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith.
And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess.
Exactly, and then proceeded to shoot the victim.
But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time?
Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? Logic. Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. Okay, we have to look at this super conspicuous business down here. This.
What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood?
I'd say it's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed.
No, wait! There's gotta be some mistake! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Help me! Say something, sir!
It appears that one of my files was stolen. That's what you're worried about. Priorities, Edgeworth. Priorities.
Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation?
Is this what the killer was really after? He just doesn't care, does he? Stolen file data jotted down my organizer. Okay. Investigation complete. Okay, let's go ahead and end the episode here. Next time we'll try to prove Gumshoe's innocence and get more information out of this Portsman guy. Hopefully we'll be able to make some progress in that in the next episode. So that's it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!